What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lupita, and I will be uploading twice a week. The days I'll be uploading, I'm not really too sure what day specifically, but I'm thinking about planning everything out ahead. That way I can keep myself organized, and I will let you all know. If you want to follow any of my social medias, they will be linked down below. I'll be talking about a subject that it's actually very sensitive to me. It's more something that I don't talk about really, and it's about me finding out I was pregnant and a week later having to tell everyone that I'm losing it or that I lost a baby. And then my journey from there of how I found I was pregnant. I'm not gonna really get into detail about everything, but just know that at the end of it, I am pregnant. I'm 31 weeks pregnant. So it all ended up turning out for the better. I feel blessed to have the opportunity to be a mom now, and I feel like that's all that matters. I shouldn't dwell on the past. So let's get started. The first time we got pregnant, it wasn't planned at all. I have an app. Well, I had an app. Every time I would get my period, I would put it down on a calculator. Not a calculator, one time I would always mark it down on a calendar, so my periods were always normal. Even if they were 4 days late, I knew that was normal. If it came either a little earlier on time or 4 days later, that was normal. But I looked on my app and I was like, let's see, when am I gonna get my period? And I was never a week late, so I found that kind of weird. So then I told my older sister, and she was like, have you taken a test? And I told her no. So that restroom had no windows. It was dark in there. So when she looked at it, she was like, hey, I think I see something. And I was like, let's just go outside and check to see if it actually is something. So then we walk outside together and we look at it in the sunlight, and we see like a very faint line. Like, from what I could remember looking down at it, you could see very faint line, but when you pick it up to the light, you could see the two lines. So we just looked at each other like, oh my god, I am pregnant. Like, it was just crazy to think about. So whatever, we came home together during lunch, and I showed my mom, and she told me, since the line wasn't that visible, that I should go to the hospital to make sure that I am. And then after school, I went to the hospital and I checked, and their pregnancy test didn't show anything. So then they took out blood work. When the test results came back, they told me that my pregnancy, like the numbers to know if you're pregnant by blood, they said that they were very low. So they told me to come back in 2 weeks and to see if they went up. Well, when I got there, he was already outside. So then he's like, come inside, I got a surprise for you. And he told me to close my eyes. And when I turned around, the bed had he had gifts for me. He had like flowers and chocolate, and he had a necklace. Not this necklace, but it does look a lot similar to this one. So then I told him, like, I wanted to tell him in a special way, like maybe surprise him with like a balloon or a little onesie or something like that. But since he had already had like a bed full of surprises for me, I told him, well, I had the pregnancy test in my purse. So then I told him, okay, I have a surprise for you too. He's like, really, you have a surprise for me? Because it was kind of crazy how he had a surprise for me and I had a surprise for him. So I kind of like caught him off guard as well. So when I told him to turn around, I have a surprise for you. So then when he put his hands out, it was a pregnancy test, and he just looked at it and he's like, he already knew why. Like, obviously if I'm showing him a pregnancy test, it means because I'm pregnant. So then he just hugged me, and we cried of emotions, and we were so happy. And but I told him that my pregnancy numbers were low, that I had to go back in 2 weeks to make sure. So when I went back and I told them what was happening. They redid my blood work to check, and they told me that my numbers are still not high enough. Like, it's already been a week, my numbers should have been way higher than they were, and they weren't moving much. So they told me that I am pregnant, but the pregnancy is not gonna go, it's not gonna continue. And she said other words, like she explained it, but just hearing her tell me that my pregnancy wasn't gonna continue, I broke down in tears. So when I walked out to tell my boyfriend, I'm already getting emotional. I couldn't even tell him, that I'm losing it, that my pregnancy is not going to continue. I just, right when I see him, I broke down, and he already knew. It wasn't like, it wasn't tears of happiness. He knew that something was wrong. So then I told him, I was like, I'll explain later. Can we just go to the car? Like, I didn't want to see anybody. I just wanted to go to the car and cry. So I didn't even make it out of the hospital. I was already crying. Just seeing him broke my heart. We were so happy that even though this pregnancy wasn't planned, we were so happy just to know that we were going to be parents. So I went to the car, and my family was texting me, my sister and my mom. They were like, oh, what's going on, like, what have they told you? But I didn't want to tell anybody. So I just got home, went to his house. I got to my boyfriend's house, and I just, like, it's so hard. I got to his room, and I sat on his bed, and he, like, went to his door, and he locked it, and he just, like, slid down the door and sat there. He just, like, had his arms on his knees, and he just started crying, and we just cried and cried. Sorry. So we just cried and cried, and we didn't tell anybody what happened until like 2 hours later. I texted my sister and my mom, and I told them, like I'm losing it. My pregnancy is not gonna continue. And they said they were sorry, and they said that everything happens for a reason, and that I will have the opportunity to be a mom, to just give it time. That maybe this pregnancy, my body knows that maybe something was wrong. Like, everything happens for a reason. Even though knowing that I was pregnant for a week, it still meant a lot to me, that baby. Even though it wasn't that long, it's still, like, if you've gone through this, the moment that you find out you're pregnant, you automatically feel an attachment. That's what happened. Probably like 2 weeks later, he told me that, like, don't worry, we're gonna try to have a baby. So that's what we did. We started trying to have a baby, and a month passed by, and I would take pregnancy tests, and they would all come back negative. And he noticed, I would check with him. The pregnancy test I would take, he would be with me, and he noticed that every time it would say not pregnant, he saw that I got emotional. I just felt bad that I could not get pregnant. So after the first month, he told me, I don't want you to take pregnancy tests no more. Like, I don't want you to keep getting sad over it. Like, you'll just find out when the time comes. But of course, I didn't listen. When he would be at work, I would go to Walmart and buy the 87-cent, I think they were 87 cents. I would buy the 87-cent pregnancy test, and I would buy a couple, hide them, and every time it would say not pregnant, not pregnant. Every month, not pregnant. Constantly seeing that negative. It takes a toll on you. It brings you down. It depresses you in a way. And but I wouldn't care. I would literally probably check once a week and make sure I wasn't pregnant, but I wouldn't tell him. I would just check and throw it away, and they would always say negative, negative, negative. So then one day, I don't know why, it was 3 in the morning, and we both got ready to go to the gym. So while he was in the bathroom, I was like, I still don't know what made me check, but I woke up and I went straight to get the pregnancy test, and I opened it. That way he, at 3 in the morning, everyone's sleeping, like the kids are going to school. It's like dead silent in this house. So I opened the wrapper while he was in the restroom, and I put the pregnancy test in my sweater. So then I went to the bathroom and I took it, and I just peed on it, and I looked at it expecting to see another negative, and I seen it, and it had 2 lines, and this time it wasn't like a faint line like the first time. It was 2 strong lines, and I didn't even cry. I didn't even know what to think. I was just like in a state of shock, and I was like, no way. Like it didn't even come to mind like, oh, surprise him in a good way, losing the first one. I felt like I should just tell him that I'm pregnant. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if I was gonna lose it again or go to the hospital and they were gonna just tell me my numbers are low again. So then I just walked out of the bathroom, and I straight gave it to him. He's like, what? And then I said, I think I'm pregnant. And it was funny because the first I gave him the pregnancy test, and the first thing I told him was, do you think pregnancy tests, do they expire? And he's like, I don't know, like I don't know if they expire. Like I don't even know why I asked if they expire, because I obviously buy pregnancy tests all the time from Walmart, so it's not like I've had that pregnancy test for like a whole year or something. Like those were new pregnancy tests. We were happy obviously, because it was like there's 2 lines. Finally, after 4 months, there's 2 lines. But at the same time, we didn't want to get our hopes up. But this time the lines were strong, and I went to my mom. Remember, it's 3 in the morning. I knocked on my mom's door, and I had already talked to my mom about doing YouTube, and I was like, oh, like I'm gonna do a prank, I'm gonna get you all. So then when I knocked on her door, she opened it. She's like, what happened? And then I just showed her the pregnancy test, and she's like, is this a prank? And I was like, no, like this is real. Like I literally just took it. Like who wakes up at 3 in the morning and takes a pregnancy test? Well, obviously some people do it, but she just saw it weird that why would I take a pregnancy test at 3 in the morning? So she just thought it was a prank. So I told her, no, like it's legit, like it's real, like I'm not pranking anybody. So she's like, go to Walmart and buy another pregnancy test, because I didn't have any more. I just had one at the moment. So we went to the Walmart and we bought a pregnancy test. So I came back home, I took another test, but I felt like, oh, like on the whole ride back over here, I kept telling my boyfriend, like, what if it doesn't show 2 lines? Like I didn't get my hopes up, but still I had a little hope in me, and I was just afraid of coming home and not seeing 2 lines. So then we came home, and there was 2 lines. And that same day we went to the hospital. The first pregnancy test, keep in mind that the first time I got pregnant, the pregnancy test, like the one you pee on, it didn't have anything, but the blood one showed low numbers that I was pregnant. But this time the pregnancy test did, like, it automatically showed 2 lines. I was so excited, he was so excited. And now to know that I'm 31 weeks pregnant, I don't like to look back on the past. I'm just so excited. I feel so blessed to have this opportunity to be a mom, and just to think that he's gonna be here in 9 more weeks. I'm so excited, but these last 9 weeks kind of feel like they are going so slow, and I guess because I'm just impatient to see him, that I feel like they're going by so slow. So yeah, I am here to tell you that If you do have a miscarriage, do not worry, just keep trying. I know it's very hard constantly seeing negative tests. It's heartbreaking and it's hard. It's very hard and it does take a toll on you. What kept my head up was looking at videos of where women had miscarriages, and months later or even weeks later, years later, they end up finding out that they're pregnant. So looking at videos like that kept my head up, and I want to do the same for others. I want to share my journey to show you all you will get pregnant. Do not let negative pregnancy tests bring you down. Keep your head up. Look at videos on YouTube to inspire you to keep trying. And yeah, so this is the end of my story time. God, my legs, I feel like my legs are falling asleep, but it is all worth it. I would do this a million times if I have to. I would go through all the pain to have my little baby boy with me, and I just can't wait for you all to meet him. And I would keep you updated. I will be sharing my experience with you all. So yeah, this concludes my video. So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to mi familia, and I'll see you next time.